You'd be forgiven if you rolled your eyes when it was announced that Dexter Morgan was returning yet again for Dexter Resurrection. Even the biggest fan of Dexter had to wonder if the repeated attempts to fix bad series finales were ruining the legacy of TV's greatest good guy serial killer. Surprisingly, outside of some of the early seasons of the original series, Resurrection has turned out to contain the best episodes in the franchise, with an original premise and an emotional update of our anti-hero. In the 6th episode, Cats and Mouse, serial killer collector Leon Prater is being more mysterious than ever, and Angel Batista is hot on Dexter's trail. Dexter, as usual, finds relief in taking out the bad guys, which leads to him putting Gareth, the Gemini Killer, on his table, only for a twist reveal to show Gemini still alive because this serial killer is actually twin brothers. As Dexter flies away in Prater's helicopter to a surprise destination, we wonder how long he can keep this up before he is finally caught and exposed for who he really is. In Episode 7, Course Correction, the vice grip around Dexter's world only gets tighter.
Dexter is ready to kill every member of Leon Prater's club.
The episode opens with Leon Prater's helicopter landing at a castle in the countryside. Charlie isn't happy with how exposed they are, but Prater angrily snaps at her to do as she's told. He's not in a good mood, with Lowell missing and Mia having to be permanently silenced. Dexter is hit hard by the news, but he doesn't let on. The group toasts to Lady Vengeance, but Dexter's voiceover shows that he knows she didn't take her life. A dinner spread is laid out for Red, Al, and Gareth, but Dexter has more interesting things on his mind. Harrison wants to go on a college tour with him, and Dexter would really like to play dad, so whatever is happening here with Prater needs to hurry up. Prater wants it to be a show and tell for the Dark Passenger and Al, so the seemingly boring Al, a serial killer known as Rapunzel, shows a video of him stalking a female jogger in the woods. Dexter is forced to watch as the others excitedly take in this innocent woman being killed on camera and her ponytail cut off. Dexter is no longer intrigued by this boogeyman social club. They all have to die, he thinks. It's time to get out ASAP. For now, though, he needs to put on a show where he pretends to be Red. Dear old dad, his conscience, in the form of his father Harry, continues to be Dexter's better angel. His son is angry, speaking about how Harry killed himself when he found out what Dex was. Harry tells him he has a higher purpose, and he shouldn't pretend to be anyone else, even now. Dexter decides not to pretend to be Red. Instead, he'll be himself, sort of. He says that Ronald Red Schmidt is just an exhausting mask. He's always holding back the Dark Passenger. They must all wear a mask or be outed. Dexter admits that he's sad when one of his victims dies, because now he must put the mask back on. Dexter is using a different name, but this is as real as he's been with these people. Prater looks very down about all of it, rather than entertained.
Dexter eliminates the other Gemini Killer.
Angel Batista is back at the police station with detectives Wallace and Oliva, where he's convinced that Mia didn't take her life. Wallace won't buy into his theory just yet, but Angel knows how smart Dexter is. He is certain that he is behind it somehow. They're not so certain that Mia killed Ryan Foster either, because her fingerprints were on all of her trophies, except Ryan's watch. Gareth is curious that Dexter never mentioned the details of his kills during his presentation. That's what Prater likes. The more he talks, the more Dexter wonders if Gareth is suspicious of him. He'll need to deal with that soon, but first, a private talk with Prater reveals that the host loved how vulnerable Red was. He talks about his parents being killed by a drunk driver when he was a child. Later, he wrote the man a letter when he was in prison. The guy actually wrote back and showed no remorse. Prater finally met the man, who said that what he did wasn't an accident. He was angry and hit their car on purpose. Prater kept visiting him, resulting in the prisoner confessing that he'd actually killed before and gotten away with it. That admittance actually made Prater feel connected to him. He was never going to be a scared boy again. When the killer of his parents died in prison, he started meeting other killers, determined not to feel afraid. Dexter sits down for a chat alone with Gareth. He tells him that he knows he's a twin, but the Gemini Killer denies it. Dexter acts excited, but Gareth tells him to stop talking. He's so annoyed that he doesn't notice that Dexter just put something in his glass of wine. Gareth finally admits the truth, and he smiles when Dexter says that he's envious of what he has. Going for it now, Dexter asks if he felt a pain in his chest last night when he stabbed his brother to death. Gareth rages, breaking a wine glass and trying to kill Dexter right in front of everyone. So the fake Red pretends to be acting in self-defense when he slits the man's throat. Dexter spins things to make it look like Gareth had killed Lowell and wanted to kill everyone else. Prater and Al buy it, but Charlie isn't so sure.
Angel Batista closes in on Dexter in a Resurrection Episode 7. Harrison, having decided to do more with his life and pursue a career in criminal justice, goes to Collings College of Criminology in New York, but his dad is a bit busy to show up on time for the tour. While he waits, a young blonde woman named Gigi makes conversation with him. She's actually the tour guide, but the look on their faces says that they like each other. Harrison looks hurt that his dad didn't make it there on time, but he has bigger problems to worry about because as soon as he walks into the lecture hall, there stands Detective Wallace, who notices him immediately. She's the guest lecturer, and she's there to talk about the New York Ripper. No sooner does she start speaking than Dexter walks in. Wallace notices him too. Awkward. Wallace speaks about how the Ripper no longer kills but continues to torment his victims' families with sinister phone calls. She even shows crime scene photos and plays one of the calls. Wallace talks about how psychopaths are emotionally deficient and incapable of love, which gets Harrison to look at his father. After the lecture, Dexter talks to his son about it. He knows he doesn't feel love like everyone else, but he also knows what he feels for Harrison is different from what he feels for anyone else. That feel-good moment is dawned too soon as Wallace walks into the empty hall to speak to them. Harrison tells the detective that he's thinking about becoming a cop. Wallace reveals that Angel Batista paid her a visit and told him about Dex's life working for Miami Metro. Dexter twists it, making it look as if Batista is crazy because of the deaths of James Dokes and Maria LaGuerta. Dexter talks to Harrison afterward about his surprise at his son wanting to be a cop, but he knows he'd be good at it since it runs in the family. His son admits that it wasn't his grandfather or aunt who inspired him, but Dexter. After getting Gigi's number, Harrison talks to Dexter about Batista, but his dad isn't worried. Back at his new home, Dexter adds a few more slides to his collection. He smiles when he hears music upstairs, but the familiarity turns to anger. It's Batista. He goes to Blessing's home, where the two have a fake, friendly conversation. That disappears when Dexter gives Angel a ride back to his hotel. He warns him one time to stay away from him and Harrison, but Batista refuses to back off. Dexter stops the car and looks at his old friend with a face filled with anger. If I really am who you think I am, this can't possibly end well for you. Batista isn't scared. He'll take his chances. He gets out of the car, but he has left a tracker behind. Batista will now know everywhere Dexter is going.